I've been single for quite some time, and there is a funny story that happened to me not so long ago. Welcome to the Ash Show and the House of Ash podcast. I'm your host, Ashwina Gambad. This is a safe haven that inspires you to live the free and abundant life that you desire. I surprised Figo, my son, for a nice visit to go back to Holland for the spring break. And so we were there at the Cancun airport and waiting for our flight. And, our flight wasn't assigned yet, so we just randomly picked a spot to sit. And the day, just before we left, I did some groceries and I got him all kinds of yummy stuff. And we kind of don't really give him a lot of sugar or like chips and stuff like that. But this time I made sure to get him something really nice. And I gave it to him as we were sitting there and waiting for our gate to appear. So I got him this bag of chips. And he was literally like just savoring it. Like his entire face was covered with it. His clothes, everything. And then I noticed there was this guy across from us. He was sitting there and he was staring at Figo. And I'm like, excuse me, for my son, he never gets to eat like chips, so he's really excited. And we started talking, and it was really nice. He even gave Figo some sweets that he had with him himself. And as we were talking, suddenly he was like, "Oh, I have to go. My gate is up. Like, are you not going to LA?" Because we're sitting at the gate for LA. And I'm like, "No, we're still waiting for our gate to appear. Bye. Have a great flight." And there he went. And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Like, this guy was actually really nice and very cute. Like, aw, like, what a bummer, Like, I live in this beautiful, we call it a bubble, like this beautiful bubble here in La Riviera Maya, and a lot of the people who live here are families. So definitely not the ideal spot when you're single to live at. And I don't really go out. Definitely not really a fan of dating apps. I don't care if you do, no opinion about that. But so for me to meet this amazing guy and really have that nice rapport with him, and then to just disappear out of nowhere, I'm like, that was a lost chance. And so I called my friend, and she lives in Norway, and I always leave her voice notes because we have like a 7 or sometimes 6 hour time difference depending on the season. And so I was like, oh my God, I just met this amazing guy, and now he's gone, and he never even asked for my number or anything. And I really hope he's gonna smack his face, because we clearly had a click. And we just had a long flight back to Holland. I think it was like 11 hours almost. And by the time we arrived at Schiphol, it was like I was waiting for the Wi-Fi zone because my parents were going to pick me up, and I was retrieving the Wi-Fi. And as I connected, I went to my Instagram and I noticed that someone new followed me. And I'm like, oh my God, he found me. Like, that's the guy. Like, huh? And like this rush of emotions, like butterflies, I don't know how to call it. Like this excitement just took over, and I'm like, oh my God. And within seconds, I just texted him like, this is such a beautiful surprise. Like, oh my God. And how on earth did you find me? And he was pretty quick to reply. He was like, yeah, I know. I should be an FBI agent. And then he told me that he used my first part of my name, Ash, and then Holland, and then real estate, like whatever the things were that we talked about, he used that in his search engine, and then in the search engine, I should say. And then he found me on LinkedIn. And from LinkedIn, he hopped over to Instagram and just started following me. And I'm like, wow, thank you. And then we were talking. And he then confessed that he saw me actually sitting there with my son, and he was like, oh, this is a nice view before I leave Mexico. Let me just sit here. So he planted himself to sit there, and he thought I was Brazilian. Thanks for the compliment. And then he was like finding words of like, what can I say to her to start a conversation? But I actually beat him to it because I noticed how he was staring at Figo, and I was like, excusing, for my son's eating. And it kind of really like organically just happened, right? But it was so nice to hear his side of the story, and I never even noticed it at all. I was really in my innocence. And then I asked him, like, so why didn't you just ask for my number? Why did you go through all that trouble to find me with your FBI skills? What if you didn't find me? He was like, no, I pay good attention to your story, and I didn't want to ask for your details because, you know, you were there with your son. I wanted to be respectful about that. And honestly, he scored so many points. Like, I was like, okay, that is huge. Another thing that was really profound about this whole thing is that apparently he took a photo of me because I shared with him, okay, I need to give you a confession. When you left, I called my friend and I told her about you and how nice it was to meet you. And I said something in the sense of, I hope he punches his face for not, you know, asking for my number. And then he's like, well, my confession is that I actually snapped a picture of you and then I sent it to my friend before we even talked. So we both kind of confessed and it was really cute. And then he just asked me all kinds of questions like, so why did you move to Mexico? And as I started to share more of my story, he really expressed how he was like positively surprised. Like, how can you be so beautiful, so smart, so courageous at the same time? And how can you use so many expensive words when you express yourself? And he knows that I'm natively Dutch, so, you know, English is my second language. So long story short, there was a moment when I shared more about my what I do for a living, like that I'm a guide, that I help people in their lives. And as I did that, he was like, you know what? I will get back to you on this because there's just so much information. I promise you in the morning when you wake up, I will have a reply ready for you because there's quite a difference in time. I think LA is like a 9-hour difference. I don't know for sure, but it's a huge time difference. So for me, my nighttime is basically his daytime, right? So I was like, yeah, sure. I will speak to you tomorrow. And I couldn't wait to wake up. That night, I couldn't sleep. Like literally my heart was like bursting open and I could feel so many emotions. I really felt like my heart was activated by him. I woke up, totally excited, obviously grabbing my phone first thing, and there was nothing, like no message, no nothing. And I was like, wait, okay, well, that can happen, you know? But the next day, still nothing. And then it started to really hit me like, oh my God, I think he ghosted me. And obviously that's not a fun thing to say to yourself because I really felt like, that's weird. Like, where did I go wrong? Like, am I making this all up? Like, and then you read the messages and like, no, he's really positive. Like, nobody asked him to look me up, right? And did I say something wrong? Like, what is it? And then I really felt all the emotions. And then what came out of it was, instead of me not being enough, it was the opposite. It was me being too much. Like, too much for him, right? Too good to be true. He literally said that at one point, like, Ash, you seem to be too good to be true. And I'm like, no, you know, like when it's too good to be true, it must be true because it means it's for you. Like, I'm always like very optimistic. And he's like, yeah, exactly. For you to say that, like, you're just too good, right? I can't believe that I met you. So what I felt in that process of feeling rejected for being too much, what I felt was this pain of, well, wait, I took so much time, it took me so much time to really grow up this insecure girl and then transform into this woman that really is confident and feels worthy and loves herself. Where did we miss the part where I'm now too much? Like, seriously, like, that's not making me feel better either, you know? It makes me feel bad, actually. And so I felt that as well. And, you know, it was like maybe 2 days that passed before I really felt the other part. And the other part was really like, you know what? I'm not gonna dim my light. I'm not gonna make myself smaller to fit someone else. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm literally just going to just be me, which is always the easiest. And I fully trust and believe that, you know, for the right person, I'm enough. And I'm worthy to receive, to be fully received as who I am. In that epiphany moment, I think I saw something come by. It was an interview with Aretha Franklin, and this interviewer was like, so how is it with men? Like, aren't they afraid to approach you? You know, like, you're so famous, you're so talented, like, how do they approach you? And she's like, that's not my problem, basically. She's like, she had this amazing confidence, and it was just so alluring when she said, my presence, it separates the male from the man. And, you know, real men, they rise to the occasion with no sweat. And I'm like, exactly, that's the energy. Like, this new version of who I am, like, because I haven't really dated, I never really experienced this for a long time. But this version of who I am, who feels more than worthy and happy with myself, that's also the type of woman that I am for, you know, like when a guy approaches me, it's like, it has nothing to do with me. If he either likes me or not, it has nothing to do with me. And I shouldn't have to dim my light or even make myself bigger. I just show up as who I am. And that's now really my mantra. It's like, real men, they rise to the occasion, you know? My presence will separate the boys from the men, and I have nothing to worry about. And it doesn't even mean that when a man approaches me that I'm gonna say yes. I mean, of course there's an interaction and it has to be mutual, but it really made me feel like I don't have to chase. I don't have to ask questions. I don't have to understand it even. I know where I'm coming from. And I reached out to him and I said, you know what? Your science speaks loud and I accept it fully. I just want to thank you for opening my heart. And that's what he did. And so I just take the blessings and that beautiful flirtatious moment that truly, truly, you know, enriched me really. And I just let go of the rest. I'm like, there's nothing else for me to do with this, you know? And I thought this is a beautiful message to share, because so long and so often I would be, and then just thinking back in those times when I was a bit younger, I would be trapped in my mind with, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Or am I not good enough? Or am I too good enough? Blah, 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 blah. And it would rob me from my presence. It would rob me from my joy. And now, just by being able to go inwards and to feel everything and just have peace. And it doesn't even matter what his story is. It doesn't matter what his truth is. If he wanted to share it, he was open to share it. It's more about how I feel inside. It's most important to me. And when I felt that he ghosted me, I didn't feel good. When I felt that I was too big, it didn't make me feel good. But now I'm like, now I feel peace because I can just be myself. I'm not dependent on whatever he did or didn't do, and it's all good. Thank you for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe, and be sure to spread the love.